Hi and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy Wednesday to join me. Hi and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy Wednesday evening to join me. I really appreciate it. Sometimes it takes me more than once. I don't know what you want me to say. These are all improv. At least at some point, maybe I can write a script. I'm not sure if it would take me too much more further away from the point of my entire day, which is to do nothing, which is subsequently why I've not yet developed a script or any type of anything other than that very just same opening that fortunately has been said well over 900 times now. So if you're not already, take a second and subscribe. I really appreciate it. It helps the channel grow out a lot. And even if you're one of those very handful, very few people who watch me and aren't a subscriber, definitely consider becoming one, right? Just because eventually the catalog is going to be at 1,000 videos. I haven't really talked that much today. Have you guys noticed? I've been doing a lot of absorbing and sleeping, catching up with sleep and absorbing material. I think that's kind of like all that I do basically every single day. I also just walked downstairs in hopes of scoring a pizza, but instead ended up with some garbage. I'm not sure. Anyways, funny stories happen here where I live, and funny things happen to both my roommate and myself, so kind of an inside joke. Anyways, tonight I want to talk about, like, link in the description below, just how toxic your weed might be, and how I think we should just be a little bit more responsible with self-governance as it concerns selling people a product that isn't going to harm them. You know, shout out to all the dispo owners out there who, live in a world where they can operate free from persecution of the state in a way, but very fearful of Uncle Sam still, because that's the truth. And then it causes this whole environment of mistrust and often unyielding of any sort of general positive results, in that weed isn't any more safer than it was just 15 years ago from the guy Chico you bought it from down the street, you feel me? And Chico was doing a better job of ensuring regulatory behavior and practices than your local dispo owner might currently be participating within, And so I'm not sure how unsettling that can be to a lot of people out there. I myself know that once you find a dispo, that's kind of why I don't shop around anymore. I feel like my roommate and I try to stick to a certain location or one or two, and that's just, again, because you're not ever really sure where your weed comes from. And I feel like it's more of a mystery than people care to think about, because you go into the dispo, you're looking for the cheapest stuff, or not, whatever world you live in, but we're going to talk about something else that impacts our very world in and of itself in just a minute here. But let's assume that you're a normal person, and you walk in with $20 and you're looking for a little bit of a pick me up, and after taxes and after finding out that only the lowest quality or lowest tier of weed is what's available to you for purchase, you get that, and then you go home and you smoke it or whatever. And more often than not, like, I've been smoking marijuana for 27 years. Anyways, in that whole time of me smoking, there's been a notable amount of times where I can recollect, like, hey, that was like bunk. You feel me? Like, I've smoked nutmeg and oregano before. I mean, I grew up as a true millennial watching Idle Hands with Jessica Alba, and watching the two dudes smoke nutmeg and oregano. So shout out to Jessica Alba in Idle Hands. Probably one of her most underrated roles ever. It may have been her first role ever in a movie. I don't know, but 12-year-old me and however old Jessica Alba was at that particular moment in her life were very close as it concerned. What a cool movie. Some hand gets out of control. Like, they don't make movies like that anymore. I encourage you all to go see what movie I'm talking about. Anyways, so, like, weed is not safe. in a lot of different ways. When we go to the dispo, the one that we had gone to prior, my roommate and I, it was a little sketch. We bought a weed plant from them, attempted to grow weed. Our plants died in a tragic sort of a way, and it was all because the people who had sold us our wheat plant, a licensed and regulated dispo here in the state of New Mexico, um, opted to forego the quality check. But what's more important is this: they didn't forget to do the check on all those plants, but they're now no longer in business, and word is that they had knowingly sold the general public plants that had been contaminated with a certain type of fly or something. I'm not quite sure what happened to our plants, but they died. They also took my orchid along with it. I didn't really much appreciate that, although I didn't do my best job in keeping my orchid alive either. Shout out to all my orchid owners out there. Now I know how to do it. I even have a book on it, so I'm welcoming the next opportunity in my life to care for an orchid. I mean, I don't know. When my orchid died, I was really sad. Anyways, a lot of loss in the last, year and a half. Anywhere from my grandma to my orchid to the weed plants to my baby lizard. There's so many things that I have had to deal with losing this past year and a half. Anyways, I also want to talk tonight not just about how, well, I guess let's just continue talking about it, and then I'll save that for tomorrow. This is like what I do when I'm making these videos, right? Even though they're improvised, I'm like, okay, can I squeeze 10 minutes of content out of that subject? I think I can, so I'll save it for tomorrow. My whole mind is just an ever revolving door of what I feel like talking about to you guys next. This is how low of a standard I have. But honestly, off the record, I hope everyone's doing real good. You feel me? My life is interesting right now at best. It's been kind of slow, but pretty stable, and I like that. I like being able to, start small and get bigger, although it's somewhat of like a this virtuous kind of test every single time, involving patience and just patience. My whole life is so it's just like there's around this idea of being patient when I know that a whole bunch of stuff needs to get done all the time, you know what I mean? But it's slowly but surely being attempted to get done, you feel me, as it concerns trying to find some meaningful purpose in my life, moreover directly a job and things like that. So I mean, I don't know, it's going okay. Really no complaints other than the fact that I'd prefer it if Donald Trump weren't our president, but I'm not the only person who feels that way, and I'm just trying to shield myself from this storm, I guess, like the next 4 years that's gonna happen. And all while literal storms around the world, are kind of a thing too. So I don't know, I'm chilling. I'm staying focused on a lot of learning aspects, things that I was watching this video the other day, and like I couldn't the video was talking about how, like, oftentimes in life things that we do for ourselves to make ourselves better people, like, don't have any monetary impact in the short term. Taking a walk, for example, every day for an hour literally makes you a lot better of a person overall health wise. There's statistics and studies that have been done. This cannot be argued. Just being physically active and fit, you feel me? But that's not the point of what I'm trying to say. All I'm trying to say is that, like, you don't get paid for doing that. Not with, like, money, or not with financial opportunity, not in any way of the short term, right? We're not all training to be professional athletes. For the most part, most of us are just working out to stay in shape, or taking that mile long or hour long walk to stay in shape, you feel me? And so it's just like, I don't know, I'm trying to stay in shape, but that doesn't equal monetary gain for anyone. My workout schedule and the way that I try to live my life in a good way that doesn't make my money, like, make my roommate any money to bring into the apartment to help for rent, things like that. But it's weird because those things drastically do improve the quality of your life. So it's just all about trade-offs, right? Like, again, Would you be rather somewhere for an hour making $14 an hour after taxes, being told to do all those things? You benefit nobody other than the people that you're making money for, essentially, right? All while at the cost of you and your body. But again, just going back to that example, when you do things that benefit yourself fundamentally and independently, they often don't equal or equate to large sums of monetary gain. You feel me? It just like the most of us, we don't do those, like doesn't yield those kinds of results. And so I don't know, it's an interesting place, like because when I was watching that video I was like, how can I not agree with that anymore? You feel me? Like I gotta find something in my life that pays me money. I mean, like I've found like pretty much mostly what the schedule and the routine that I like to follow to keep myself in the best of health. How else would I keep this mop head of hair just going strong, I'm just saying that um I love making these videos and I like being kind of silly sometimes. It happens, I guess, when you spend at least 20 minutes of every day talking to yourself. Some things are bound to happen. One of them is me just continuing to thank you guys for being a part of my journey here in life. I hope that it doesn't end for another, what are we thinking, like 68 years or something? And it'll be live to be 113 years old, trying to smoke in all 3 centuries. Hopefully by then the weed will be a little bit safer than it is now, because again, link in the description below. Check it out. Have the convo while you're smoking a blunt or a bong bowl with your closest friends. You feel me? What you are smoking may in fact, might not be the best thing for you. So really learn to check the reputable sources in any way that you can, right? Verify that the weed you're smoking is coming from a source that can be trusted, verified, and or at the very least gone back to in the event that there is any sort of issue with the product that you're buying. I mean, after all, it is a product that you're buying, and this country does protect all of those people out there who purchase items in a world that's driven and run by capitalism, right? So make that a point too. I bought this weed with money, and this weed is just not the kind of product that I thought that it was going to be. I mean, other industries that do other things that serve other products that have potentially otherwise harm have been doing it successfully for far longer in a regulated and controlled manner, by the way. So, we can only be so lucky. It needs to be federally legal, obviously, right? Then a lot of these problems are going to go away, but I don't think Big Clown Guy is going to do it in the next 4 years. So hopefully, shortly thereafter, at some point, we'll be able to see a country with decriminalized marijuana and the removal of the penalties that come along with utilizing marijuana. So I hope that you guys have a really good night. I mean, like, come on. I want to work for Uncle Sam. I can't work for you, dude, if you don't let me smoke weed. I mean, how long can we continue this dance in life? Am I going to be like 45 before I start working for you, Uncle Sam? I mean, what is it? The ball's in your court. The sooner you make weed legal, the sooner a whole lot more young people are going to be legally available to be at your disposal to, carry on your patriotic ways. Good old America. You gotta love it. I know I do. I hope that you guys have a really good night. Thanks for watching my show, okay? And hey, for the record, I do love America. I just think that whole part of pandering to the patriots out there is just sort of understanding that the guy who's in charge right now is far from anything at all I think we should even close to be considering. Like, the dude's a treasonous criminal. If you guys need evidence, I'm not shy to provide that for y'all. So, the king of grifting. That's what we'll call this man, the king of grifting, who, man, how can anyone not get riled up talking about this dude? We don't have another 20 minutes. Have a really good night. You guys take care, okay? Bye.